Looking when I really get to clicking, but I'm looking for a sister to revive and win a kiss. If you want some love, just let me know.
What's up guys, Kieran Hedley here. I'm here with Luke Gal, the man, the legend, the ginger. Anyway, I just came off that just then. Anyway, we're here at Flex Fitness. Got old Leo, the owner, actually is letting us film here, which is really cool. I've never been to this one. It's been open 3.5 months, but it should be really good. Anyway guys, we're gonna get started with some squats today, okay? Because I'm doing squats for powerlifting, and this is how to squat more weight. So mate, how much caffeine is in this again?
There is 720 milligrams
of like
scoop.
Oh no, sorry, there's 360 milligrams of caffeine in one. So basically that's like about 4.5 shots of coffee around about, and basically good old Luke Gow's let me borrow it, so we're gonna see how it goes anyway. I'm really hoping, because I need caffeine, man.
Yeah.
I've had 2.5 coffees today actually.
I'm so tired all day. Chug it.
Oh man, I don't know if I can, eh?
Chug it.
So is it for the tube?
For the tube.
For the tube. Okay,
Oh,
no,
yeah.
this is why I always got in trouble at rugby, because I couldn't scum a beer like very well. Alright, let's have a quick tour of the gym. Okay, so coming in the door here.
A few cables, some weights, and a massive open space. Okay, and now up here is where they do the group fitness classes.
Please do not touch the lighting panel. Alright, so we're going to go through some warm-ups, okay? So before we do, I'm just going to tell you my new maxes. I haven't done a powerlifting-based video in a very long time, so I'm continuing on with everything, okay? I've still been training for it, but we've had a lot of obstacles along the way, so I haven't been able to do this video for a while. So anyway, my new maxes, okay? At the moment, I'm working off a 215 deadlift, 215 kgs. I'm working off a 182.5 kg squat, so we've got squats today, and a 120 bench. And I feel like my bench has definitely gotten weaker. My deadlift's gotten weaker because of all my trips away, so I've had to take time off powerlifting. So we'll see how we go. Okay, before we get into the squats, okay, we need to open up the hips and get the legs moving properly so that we can perform these squats properly as well. Alright, first things first, we need to just get the muscles warm before we actually stretch them out, because when they're cold, alright, they're more likely to break. It's like taking a rubber band that hasn't loosened up properly and you just pull it and it's going to snap. So first exercise, okay, is a band exercise. We're going to open up the adductors, so they're the muscles that create inward action. Anyway, is what means you can bring your legs inward, okay? They're your adductors. What he said. Yep, step into the green band, bring it up to your hips, you're just coming forward, okay, nice and wide, hips in front of knees first. You get your knees as wide as you can with your hips in front of your knees, yep, and keep your heels in line with your knees. And then allow your hips to be pulled back by the band, slowly, alright? Think of the rubber band, okay, you don't want to completely pull it apart. This is another thing, if you get knee pain, this is a good one. So your hip flexor is attached to your IT band, okay? And then your IT band attaches along to the tendon in the knee, so the patella tendon. So if you're getting knee pain, generally it's derived from somewhere in the kinetic chain, so upper or lower. It can be from the hip or it can be down from the ankle, so you need to look at both areas there.
Wow! Really do try go as wide as you can.
Putting the band around one hip first, okay, so right up to the groin, and you're coming out as far as you can, putting one leg out, the leg of the band is facing out that way, and the other knee is supporting down, all while pushing your hips forward. So you want to imagine you're in the squat, and you're just trying to drive those knees out. And then same leg, what you're doing is you're going to turn around and face the anchor point. The anchor point's where the band's coming from, okay? Keeping your band up by your bum, okay, up by your hip, coming back as far as you can, driving that knee, that same knee to the ground, like this. And then what you're doing is you're allowing your hip to be pulled forward by the band, okay? And then if you can't feel it in your hip, you want to rotate the opposite way and bend over at the same time, lean over at the same time. Oh, you feel that? Hip? Yeah. So that's opening up the hip flexor there. This hips are so tight. And then repeat on the other side.
This side was so loose now.
Yeah, good.
When I was getting up, I was like...
Another one you can try if you get sore knees is a couch stretch, okay, because it's a closed chain stretch. 1 foot behind you, up on a ledge or anything, okay, up on a seat, and that same knee is driving into the ground, alright, the other foot supporting, and you're driving that same hip forward, okay, hips stay nice and square, and you're driving forward. And you can also action the same movement here as we did in the other stretch, okay, which is rotating the opposite way to the knee that's connected to the ground, and then bending over at the same time.
Alright, we're all pushing the hip forward.
Ooh.
Yeah. So your IT is probably super tight, alright, and this is a good way to isolate the IT band if you've got a tight IT.
Alright, next one I want you to do, okay, because if you have tight ankles that can cause problems into the knee as well. So we need to enhance dorsiflexion, which is flexion for the ankle upward, driving that heel backwards, driving it into the ground and allowing the knee to drive forward with the band. Don't let the heel leave the ground. Alright, now what you're doing, okay, is you're turning around, keeping on the same ankle, okay, it's going to hold the tendons in place, you're driving forward, same deal, drive the heel onto the ground, the knee forward, okay? So you're going to feel it slightly differently in this. And then switch sides and repeat. What we want to do is get in there with a ball now, okay? So we're actually going to dig into those particular tight spots, open them up even more. So you want to get into the glute minimus, okay, which is actually a really tight muscle up here, and the TFL, which is by your hip, okay? That's going to help release it a lot and actually going to create more opening for the knee, okay? Onto that hip, getting the hip flexor there. And if you're not making this face, alright, or a worse face, then you haven't found the right spot. Alright, next thing I'm going to do is create a distraction. The hip, alright, is a ball and socket joint, okay? So basically what you want to do is create a distraction in order to pull the hip joint apart, basically. Come away from the ankle point like this. I'm going to tense my left glute and relax my right glute as much as possible, okay? And you'll feel a pulling sensation through the through your opposite leg. And once you've done that, switch sides. So the last one we're going to do is release the muscles in the feet so they get really, really tight. It's going to help release the calf and the tendons and the ankle as well. Basically just standing in that soft muscle belly of the foot there. Oh, bro, if you haven't done this before, it's going to hurt. And then once I've done this, because I do a particular type of squat called a low bar squat, okay, because for me, okay, my femurs are quite long, which means my hips have to extend quite far back, okay, so in order to actually keep a center of gravity where the bar is actually directly over my ankles without me having to go a certain distance, okay, what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to lean forward. So if the bar's positioned along the top of my neck here where it normally would be, which is called a high bar squat, okay, I'll show you. So basically it's a normal high bar squat, okay, which is fine, okay, but for me, okay, because my femurs are quite long, which means for me I have to lean forward, okay, because my bum comes quite far back. Okay, so what will happen is the bar's actually wanting to come in front of where the foot's placed, okay? So in order to actually be able to optimize that leverage, alright, I'm going to actually come into a low bar squat, meaning this is going to drop down to that little bridge there and sitting on my middle traps there. Okay, so you'll be able to create another bridge there. Yeah? There's a line directly between my the bar and my heels, basically. It's kind of where you want to be. So that's kind of where you want to be sitting. Literally just perform the squat and see how far you sit back, okay? So I'm looking in the mirror here, okay? And I'm going to perform the squat. My knees will travel forward, okay? Because when you're performing the squat, the first thing you want to do is something called, I'm trying to remember, hip hinge, okay? That's the very first movement of the squat, okay? The hip hinge is the very first movement, okay? Not a knee bending. Drop down, drive the knees outwards, okay? Sit down, and as you notice, my hips are actually coming quite far behind my heels, okay? Just because I've got quite long femurs, okay? And that means I'm going to have to lean forward in order for my center of gravity to be directly above my heels, okay? Because I have to lean forward, okay? If you see, the tops of my traps are actually in front of my heels, okay? So if I wanted to actually perform a proper squat, okay, I'm going to have to sit the bar a little bit further back. That's how I deduce that I'm a low bar squatter, okay? So opposed to someone that might squat more upright, okay, when they're doing this, because their femurs might be not as long as mine. Alright, now we're all loose, okay, so we're ready to perform squats, okay? I'm not getting the knee pain on my right knee, which I was before, okay? We're going to fire up the legs a little bit more, okay? Grabbing the toes, okay, coming to a squat, keeping the back nice and straight, shooting your hips up, feeling that stretch in the hammies, and then pulling the hips down to the ground again. And up, pull, and then down, chest up. So we're taking you through a lengthening phase, alright, and a contracting phase. So if you guys know Max Tuning, okay, I'm under the same coach, Candito, okay? Basically, I'm on the 3rd week of that program, and on Tuesday, I had to do 145 kgs, which is my 8 rep max for 10 reps, okay? I managed to get it somehow, I don't know how. And now he wants me to do 147.5 3 days later for 10 reps. So, yeah. Alright, so before we get into the actual squat itself, okay, now that we're nice and warm, okay, we're gonna fire the glutes up properly. So we're gonna fire out the glute med, okay, which is an abductor, meaning anything pulling away from your body is abduction, okay, so this is abduction, okay, so get a booty band. What you wanna do is put it around just above your knee. You need to lean forward slightly, push your bum out, okay, just like your Beyonce, basically driving that knee outwards the entire way through, okay, just walking. Okay, we're going wider rather than longer through this movement, okay? Once it starts firing properly through your glute, I want you to do 2 more lengths on top of that. What you'll find as well when I step back from the squat rack, okay, I don't take too many steps, I don't take too much time between reps either, because every second, alright, that you've got this bar on your back, alright, your legs are fatiguing, okay? So you want to utilize that time as much as possible, okay? So that time is precious. This is only because it was a warm-up, this is why I'm standing here talking to you, otherwise I would not. I would be doing my set. So there's 2 things I want you to focus on, okay? There's tightness and stability in the spine, okay? Stability in the spine is key, and then I want you to focus on the tightness, okay? And that's why when you're doing the movement, you'll notice I pull my shoulders back, my chest is up, my hands are nice and close, and I'm almost driving my hands behind my body like this, okay? And driving my elbows back. Because what that's going to do is it's going to tighten my posterior chain, okay, my entire back, okay? And that's actually going to transition into the entire movement. Let's do this. To be honest, I'm actually really surprised I got that, because 145, alright, 2.5 kg is a little bit less. 3 days ago, I felt like it was actually a little bit harder, so it's good. Alright, the program's working, even though I was a bit tight today, but that's okay. So we're DOMs, but we got there, so that's what matters. Knees up. Good. Up. Alright, so I took about a 20-minute break because I went to film some drone footage. Yep, I know. Anyway, we've got back off squats. If you got 10 reps, which I did, alright, you basically take off 5 kgs total, and you do 10 sets of 3 reps, alright, at that weight. And yeah, basically the less reps you got, alright, the less sets you do for that. So we're gonna do it. 10 sets, here we go. Alright, so we've got these 10 sets now, okay? So we're just gonna time lapse it because otherwise it get really boring. Let's do it. Done. Now we've just got deadlift accessory movements, or a single movement. Sweet. Basically Candido wants us to do 3 sets of 8 reps of a deadlift variation. There's no particular percentages in this one, okay? But basically what we're going to do is it's going to be a Romanian deadlift, so RDL, okay? Band resisted. The band's not attached to us, it's attached to the bar. A little bit different, okay? You want to create as much tension with the band as possible, okay? Once you're in that position, with good form, okay? I want you to come up and deadlift it, okay? Coming back, you'll feel a pull, okay? So it's a really interesting feeling. What you're doing, keeping the hips nice and high, like your Beyonce, right? Like I've said that before. And you'll feel a lot more in the hamstrings than the back. Doing this. Okay, so I'm just going to explain something really quickly about accessory movements, okay? If you find your knees are caving in, what you want to work on is your medialis, okay? So there's some muscle running down in the teardrop, pushing the knee out, okay? So if you're getting knee pain or anything like that, alright, you want to enhance the medialis by doing things like lunges, okay? Things like light leg extensions, okay? Things like close stance leg press, all that sort of stuff, okay? If you're finding you're struggling through the middle point, okay, you want to enhance the strength in your glutes by doing things like hip thrusts, okay? So good things like things that will help you with your lockout, things like abducting machines, okay? You want to also do things that will build up your lateralis, okay? The outside sweep of your leg, the big meaty muscle part there, okay? Wide stance leg press, hack squats, like as in wide stance hack squats on the machine, okay? Pendulum squats, okay? General barbell hack squats, which is where your heels are raised and your barbell's behind you, you're doing squats like that. will also help with the medialis, which I talked about before as well. Okay, if you're finding you're coming out of the hole really slow, okay, so come up and your hips raise like that, that means your glutes aren't strong enough, so do those glute exercises I explained. The other thing I want you to do is work on your hamstrings, okay, so doing things like your RDLs, which we did before, okay, or doing things like your hamstring curls, things like your cable deadlifts. If you're feeling like your entire posterior, okay, through here, the upper posterior is a bit weak, okay, you obviously want to work on things like your rows and your pull-ups as well to get that kinetic chain working properly. Alright, so that's squats done from Luke and I. That was a challenge and a half. Anyway, next week, okay, it's less volume, more strength phase, okay, so it's less reps, less sets, more weight basically, that's the idea. So we're too bloody sore to be doing other accessories at the moment, but that's alright, because we've got a marathon in 2 days. Ridiculous, right? We just did hard out legs anyway. That should be interesting. Anyway guys, from Luke and I hope you learned something. Anything from you, bro?
That was an absolutely awesome workout, mate. Thank you so much for taking me through it.
Awesome, bro.
And looking forward to the marathon on Sunday. Make sure you subscribe to his YouTube channel.
Cheers, bro. And make sure you subscribe to his as well. His YouTube channel will be in the link in the bio as well. Sure, guys. Hope you learned something. Take care. Any questions, shoot in the comments. Take care.